Um, I'm kind of lost for words. I don't think I've ever reacted to such a fun, vibrant, crazy, off-the-wall track as this before. Oh my goodness me. Where do I start with this? Right, okay. Hello. Welcome to my channel. My name is Claire. I'm a flute player from Hull, East Yorkshire in the UK, and it's time for another reaction from me. Now this week I'm reacting to something a little bit different. If you follow my channel regularly, you'll know that I normally react to live performances. I like to talk about what makes a live performance interesting and really look at live pieces of music. However, sometimes a suggestion comes along for a studio recording or something that's not been performed live, well, that I just can't resist digging into. And this week we have something along those lines. So this reaction has been sent in by Brian Wilson. Thank you so much, Brian, for this, who tells me that this is a disco beat version of a very famous classical piece. So the piece in question is Rimsky-Korsakov's famous Scheherazade, and this version was done by Maynard Ferguson in his 1977 record New Vintage. Now, Maynard Ferguson was a trumpet player, and this album features covers of some interesting tracks, including the Star Wars main theme and Maria from West Side Story. So if you're interested in that, then of course do go and check it out. And it was the 10th studio album by the trumpeter Maynard Ferguson and was released in 1977. Now, the flute player here is Bob Militello. He was also a saxophonist and toured with Ferguson back in the 70s. Now, fluteful fact for you folks, Bob Militello, later went on to play with the famous Dave Brubeck Quartet, of course, of Take 5 fame. And I do have my own cover of Take 5 in the on the channel if you'd like to check it out. So anyway, back to today's reaction. Like I say, I couldn't resist reacting to this because I'm a big lover of taking music in one style and transforming it into something else, which is definitely what we're gonna hear here. And Brian, as a Flutifull Club member, has informed me that this is, well, it's definitely something to behold. So without further ado, let's find out if this is truly Flutifull or not. Here we go. I'm gonna stop it there. um, I'm kind of lost for words. I don't think I've ever reacted to such a fun, vibrant, crazy, off the wall track as this before. Oh my goodness me. Where do I start with this? Right, okay, let's go right to the beginning. So, the trumpet opening is incredibly well played, isn't it? And it's really the only bit of this that if you hadn't have told me this was Scheherazade, I really probably wouldn't have even realised until you told me, right? Exquisite opening, loads and loads of space, great trumpet opening. And then we get that sweep up to the top. Oh my goodness, you can probably tell from my face. I mean, I'm really listening out for the flute, but that trumpet sound, how long was that note? I was like halfway through that note, I'm thinking, no, he's not still playing that. That's like synth strings now. But I think he was, because you could hear him like stop the note. Incredible, incredible. At the same time as we get that swoop up, that disco beat kicks in. I was not expecting that. That was like, what? Insane, insanely brilliant. Totally, obviously, different tempo, different groove to the original Scheherazade. And we get that shift in time signature. I think it's probably even a completely different time signature to the original. The rhythm's definitely changed. Straight out of the Ian Anderson school of how to take a tune and make it your own. Just awesome. I wouldn't have even really recognised that unless I'd have really, knew it was the tune. And then we get the flute. Well, what do I say about this? So again, kind of out of the Ian Anderson school of fluting, we've got that kind of, you can hear him making the, almost like speaking through the flute. Now, Brian, I think you made a comment about the singing and playing in this. Singing and playing in this is really unusual. So I think what he's doing is there's not a lot of flute going on. There's a tiny amount of flute. There's quite a lot of voice. And the other thing that makes this really unusual and really special is that he's playing fairly high up in the flute register and he's matching the pitch of the voice. So often when you sing and play on the flute, you either singing down the octave from where you're playing, or you're playing in the low octave and matching that. So let me just demonstrate what I mean. So if I play a normal low note and then I sing and play, that's my voice the octave lower than that note, which is how a lot of people normally do it, particularly men, because they're not going to want to pitch that actual note because that's quite high. If I pitch that actual note with my voice, which isn't a problem for me, I get that, which is less kind of less cool, less guitar-like, isn't it? It's less, you can hear the voice less. What he's doing here is playing really quite high on the flute, at least in the middle register, I think up to the third octave at some point, and singing and matching the pitch. So for a guy, that's really, really high. That's proper falsettoing. So say that pitch there. Sorry if that kind of broke the microphone. So that's what's making this sound really, really unusual. Also, there are points where he goes up and super high, and I don't think you can really hear the flute anymore. You just hear the voice, and it's like some crazy kind of singing whale thing, just with a little bit of flute behind it. I mean, it's really unusual to hear that, and it's super cool. The other thing that's used really, really well in that flute section, not all the way through it, but on and off, is a delay effect. So having like doing a little riff and then putting loads like layered delay on is a super cool effect, which I've used myself a few times and is used here just brilliantly. Oh, so I'm kind of lost for words. It's very, very unusual flute sound, and I think it's awesome, and I can't believe I've never heard this before. So Brian, I'm so pleased you've brought it to my door. Anyway, let's continue and see if there is any more fabulous fluting going on in this track. Oh, I know we're here for the fluting, folks, but let's just appreciate that trumpet sound. Oh my goodness, Maynard Ferguson. I don't know how can you even play that high? I don't even know if I've ever heard a trumpet play that high with the wah as well. Incredible trumpeting, but also incredible fluting. Oh my goodness, we didn't get any more unfortunately, but it was well worth it there in the middle. Absolutely fantastic. The other thing, of course, I just want to mention with this is, of course, a well-known classical piece that's been remixed, remade, rearranged in a new idiom. And just, isn't it fantastic, folks? Isn't it fantastic? I'm all for taking pieces of music and being creative with them. And I don't believe that the composer would have felt that that wasn't something that should be done. I firmly believe when you put music out in the world that it no longer really becomes, I don't know how to say this, no longer really becomes not your property, but you're putting it out there to be enjoyed and to be explored. And I just think it would be the greatest honour for me if somebody took my piece of music and created something else from it. And when you can have results like this, which are just like amazing, that you can take something and reimagine it in such a completely different way, and for it to be so fantastic and creative and wonderful. So anyway, I just wanted to give my thoughts on that, because I know that can be a kind of a little bit of a controversial topic, particularly in the classical world. So anyway, if you have any thoughts on that, if you just want to share your reaction to this wonderful track, especially if it's the first time you've heard it, because one of my greatest joys on this channel is exposing people to music that they've never heard before, including myself. And it's thanks to my wonderful community here that I get that pleasure as well. So thank you for those who, like Brian, are suggesting things for me to react to. You can do so by checking out the pinned comment below. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did, and it brought you lots of joy. What a fun track, just what a fun track. And there we are. So I hope to see you again very, very soon. Until we do meet again, make sure you stay flutiful. Thanks, folks. Bye.